telescope is an extension of its owner that allows us to peer into the universe to see nature on the grandest scale, with wonders that boggle the imagination. Okay, this is a Galaxy log for February and March of 2024, and it's subtitled Short Nights. Reason for the subtitle is I had two nights, one in February, one in March, and both were short nights. The first one in February was the last night of the month, February 29th, and the moon was rising that night just after 11 o'clock at night. So by the time it got dark and I had the telescope set up and everything, I had maybe about 3 hours of good darkness, but I was able to get a lot of good views in. The second night was March 14th, and on that night, the moon wasn't setting till after 11:30 that night. And also, my wife was out of town, and we have 3 dogs, and I had to take care of them. So I wasn't able to stay real late. So I had maybe 3 or 4 hours also that night of observing, but they were really good nights. For that February 29th night, first galaxy was NGC 2683 in Lynx. It's a really great galaxy. It's one of those galaxies that you would say, how did Messier miss that one? And here's where it's located. Lynx isn't a very bright constellation. It's kind of wedged in between much brighter constellations like Gemini and Leo and Ursa Major. But it does have a lot of great galaxies within its realm. And this one here is probably the best, is 2683. Here's where 2683 is located. Fairly easy star hop. And here's my near view image of when I saw that night through the telescope. And first we'll go over the particulars. You can see it's a very bright galaxy at 9.8 magnitude. High surface brightness, 12.8. It's a large galaxy. Here's its type and its distance. For the near view image, the telescope was a 4-inch f7 ED refractor. The eyepiece was 9 millimeter, gave me a magnification of 79. Sky conditions were very good. So the galaxy showed up really well in the 4-inch refractor. It was in a good part of the sky, basically overhead. And the sky, like I said, the sky conditions were really good. So I saw a nice, bright, large core area, a little bit of a nucleus, and then the galaxy extended very well from the northeast to the southwest. It has some nice field stars within the eyepiece view, which kind of enhances, I think, the overall view of the galaxy. Here's a image of 2683, and you can see it. Not as bright, not as detailed, but it really gives you, even the 4-inch refractor gives you a really good hint of how good this galaxy really is. Thanks for how bright and large it is. So this is a really good galaxy to go for if you have a smaller telescope. Big telescopes show incredible views of this galaxy. Okay, our next galaxy, we head in Ursa Major, and it's NGC 2841. Here's where 2841 is located. Here's a closer view from the stellarium web of where the galaxy is and how to get to it. It's really easy, very easy star hop. And here's the near view image. It's a bright galaxy at 9.2, so it's a little brighter than 2683. It's a high surface brightness, good size. Here's its type and its distance, a little farther out than 2683. For the near view image with the 4-inch refractor, I also used the 9mm at 79 magnification. But that was gave me the best really overall view of the galaxy. So the galaxy has this, in this view, has a very large, bright central region or core area, a bright little stellar nucleus, and with averted vision, it really extends really well. It's in a nice star field. When you look at it, first of all, first thing you're going to think of is this foreground star. Is that a supernova? But it's you can see it here in the image of the galaxy. It's right here. So yeah, so don't get too excited if you see that and you're thinking, oh, I discovered a supernova. But overall, it's a really great galaxy to go for, even in lesser scopes than the 4-inch. But yeah, this was a really nice view. And again, it was high up, so there was less atmosphere when I was looking at it. It's in a really good part of the sky where at the dark side I was at. So it just really gave a very impressive view of a really fine galaxy. And the second night was March 14th. And as I said in the beginning there, that it was a shorter night. Moon set was late, so it wasn't an all-nighter, but still got some really good views in on a lot of objects. And the first galaxy was NGC 3301 in Leo. Here's where the galaxy is located. Here's a closer-up view from Stellarium Web of where the galaxy sits in a nice field of stars, and pretty easy to find if you're star hopping. And here's the near view image. Nice bright galaxy. It's 11.4 magnitude, high surface brightness. Here's its size. It's decent size, its type, and its distance. And for this near view image, I was using the 12-inch f4 Dob. An eyepiece was a 6.5 millimeter, gave me 185 magnification, and the sky conditions were very good. The galaxy stands out very, very well. Has a very bright stellar nucleus, a large, bright core area, and with averted vision, it really extended really, really well. A lot of what you're seeing in this photograph here of the galaxy, I could see. Especially with averted vision, it really extended well. Nice field of stars, especially this nice triangle of stars, which you can see here in the photograph. That stands out well and kind of like enhances the overall view of this galaxy. Our next galaxy is NGC 3489. It's in Leo. Here's where the galaxy is located in Leo. There's a closer-up view from Stellarium Web of where NGC 3489 is located. It's a little more difficult star hop than the previous galaxy, but it's fairly easy to find if you use a wide field eyepiece, low power eyepiece, because the galaxy is very bright and it'll stand out as a fuzzy looking star. And here's the near view image of this very bright galaxy. You can see here its magnitude 10.3, high surface brightness, decent size, its type, and its distance. Again, with the 12-inch f4, same eyepiece, 185 magnification. The galaxy is just really bright. Very bright stellar nucleus, very bright core. It extends fairly well, especially with averted vision. It's so funny though that the core in the nucleus is so bright it almost overwhelms the rest of the galaxy. But you can see that in the survey image here, how extremely bright the central region of this galaxy is. But it's a really nice galaxy. It's going to be easily seen in smaller telescopes. So, like a 3-inch refractor, I have no problem seeing this galaxy. But yeah, it does that core and that stellar nucleus really stand out well. Okay, next we head to Ursa Major, and it's NGC 3583. And this is where NGC 3583 is located in Ursa Major. Of course, there's a lot of great galaxies in this constellation also. Here's a closer up view of where 3583 is located. It was an easy star hop. And here's the near view image. First particulars. It's fairly bright. It's 11.1 mag. Surface brightness 12.7. It's not real big size. There's its type, its distance. Also, there's a background galaxy that we'll also talk about. And it's 3577. It's fairly faint, 13.4. Low surface brightness, small, its type, and it's pretty far out there. And you can see here's an image of a pair, and there's 3577. For the near view image, of course, it's the 12-inch f4 Dob. Same eyepiece. I just was using this eyepiece a lot that night. As far as the near view image itself, it was a really nice view of the galaxy. I really took some time with this guy and saw some nice detail. First was very apparent was the very large central region. And it had a very faint stellar nucleus that was coming in and out. And you could see the stellar nucleus, but it was very faint. But you had this nice, bright, large outer or inner region. And then this faint, you can see with a verted vision, this very faint, much larger halo. And you can see that here in this image of the galaxy. I was definitely seeing some modeling in this bright region of the galaxy that stood out really well. But yeah, I was really surprised how much I was actually getting out of this galaxy. Here again, it was in a good part of the sky at this dark side. So, and when I was observing this, it was probably the best sky conditions of the night. So I'm real impressed by the view of this galaxy. And then to the southwest, there was this faint smudge that I could see, and that's 3577, which is, like I said, you can see it here in the image. And it's a faint, faraway barred spiral with a little stellar nucleus. And it was funny, at first, I could see off this star here and this fuzz. And then as the scene would settle, I could see this little stellar nucleus stood out a little bit. So basically, it looked like a faint star with this elongated patch of light around it, a very faint elongated patch around it. But yeah, it wasn't, once I saw where it wasn't hard to see. The outer region, which is why the surface brightness is so low, is very faint and would require a much larger telescope and darker skies. But yeah, the view of 3583 was really, really nice. And I definitely want to come back to this galaxy with my 20-inch Dob in the next dark window. This is a summary of this galaxy log versus dark site. It's a local dark site. It's about a 30-35 minute drive from my home, and it's rated a Bortle 4 site. It's got good elevation. And the 2 nights that I had up there were really good as far as transparency and seeing. As far as the telescopes, for the first night was the Astrotech 4-inch f7 ED Apo, which I really enjoy. This photograph here was actually, when I first got it, was tested in my yard, and it really has good optics. Very sharp, high contrast, seems to punch above the 4-inch aperture. And I have showing a copy of the book Deep Sky Wonders that was influenced Sky and Telescope with the monthly column from Walter Scott Houston. And he had a heavy influence on me as a kid to really get into deep sky, and particularly galaxies. And a lot of his observations were with a 4-inch refractor. So, if you have a scope like this, a 4-inch refractor, and you can get under good dark skies, you'd be surprised how much you can actually see. And it's a good aperture for a refractor, and of course, you get those wonderful refractor views. On the second night was my Orion Optics UK 12-inch f4 Dob, and I've mentioned this many times on Galaxy Log, how really great this telescope is, especially optically. It's almost like refractor-like views. Stars are just, even at high magnification, just crisp and pinpoint. A very dark background, showing the smoothness of the optics of this telescope. Just a joy to use. As far as eyepieces, for the first night, and with the 4-inch refractor, was the Celestron Excel LX 9mm for NGC 2683 and NGC 2841. These are really good eyepieces for the money. And then on the second night with the 12-inch was a Batter 6.5mm Morpheus. These are really good eyepieces, exceptional eyepieces, and used them for the 3 Galaxies there, or actually 4 if you want to, 3577. Great eye relief, very comfortable to to use. Nice field of view, nice big field of view, and really gives a nice high contrast, which is really important in galaxy observing, to have good light transmission, high contrast, both of the telescope and the eyepiece you're using. So that's it for this Galaxy Log. Clear dark skies and happy galaxy observing.